So we've talked about what happens when you raise a product to a power, something like this, 2x. Let's say we were to raise that to the second power. That means we would take both of these terms on the inside, the 2 and the x, and we'd raise them both to the second power. So that would be 2 to the second times x to the second, which would give me 4x to the second. Let's talk about now raising quotients to powers. So here we have a fraction. We have a divided by b raised to the nth power. And what that means is that we'll raise both of these values to that power. So we wind up with a to the nth power and b to the nth power. And you can see the examples here. Let's do a couple for ourselves. Z to the fourth over 5 raised to the third power. And I'm going to use a z there because that makes me feel better. Doesn't get us confused with a 2 there. Z to the fourth over 5 raised to the third power. So our rule says that we raise both of these terms to the third power. So that means that my z there, is going to be raised to the third power. So z to the fourth, that's going to be raised to the third power. And so is the 5. That one's going to be raised to the third power too. Now this one's pretty easy to deal with. We remember our power to a power rule. And that means I'm going to multiply these two. So I'm going to get z, or z, to the 12th. And 5 to the third, and 5 to the third is 5 times 5 times 5, which is 125. And you can see that right up there. So that's our answer, z to the 12th over 125. What about this one? Still pretty easy. We know that we're going to raise both of those to the second power. So that's going to be 4 to the second power over x to the third to the second power. So that'll be 16 on the top, and x to the sixth on the bottom. So now we know how to deal with products raised to a power and quotients raised to a power. What happens when we have both products and quotients together and we raise them to a power? 2x to the sixth, that's a product. And this whole thing, 2x to the sixth over y to the fourth, that's a quotient. So what are we going to do when we raise those both to the negative third power? We're going to follow exactly our rules in the order that we've learned them. So this is division. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to raise both of those to the negative third power. So 2x to the sixth to the negative third power over y to the fourth to the negative third power. And since those are negative, that means I'm going to flip-flop them. I'm going to take the reciprocal of both of them. So I'm going to take my y to the fourth, and I'm going to bring it up here, y to the fourth to the positive third power. Right? When it moves up here, it becomes positive. And then this is going to come down here, and it's going to become positive. So we get 2x to the sixth raised to the third as well. Now it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. We've got the y to the fourth to the third. That's y to the 12th. And then this, now at this point you have to remember we're raising both of these terms to a power. So we've got 2 to the third times x to the sixth to the third. So don't forget that when you see these together, these are two different pieces. They're being multiplied together, so they're both raised to that power. That gives us y to the 12th over 2 to the third is 8. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8. And then x to the 18th. Not too bad. That is our answer. No more simplifying that we can do. All right, here we have another one. What is the simplified form of this? A over 5b raised to the negative second power. Let's follow our rules again. We have a to the negative second power over 5b to the negative second power. And again, since they're negatives, we're going to take the reciprocals. That means in this case, they're just going to flip upside down, 5b, and we're going to take that to the positive second power, 5b to the second power over a to the second power. And a to the second power, we're just going to keep that. Ooh, that was a sound. A to the second power, and then we have 5, that's being raised to the second power, so that's 25, and b to the second power, which is b to the second. So our answer is 25b to the second over a to the second. And that's pretty much it. So go ahead and get working on that homework, and let me know if you have any problems.